YouTube. Here at the mill today. I wanted to go over with some stuff with you, kind of do a recap and overview. What I got going on today is a whole lot of nothing, but I want to tell you what I'm thinking about doing and get your guys' input, see what you think. I got some changes I'm thinking about trying to do to the mill. I want to clean up around here. Things are starting to get overgrown. It's late evening after work on Saturday. Hopefully I can get this video up and y'all guys can maybe see it on Sunday. As you can see, the reason I have not done any milling is I still have the ash on the mill. I have nowhere to stack it that I feel good and comfortable with. Like, I don't mind stacking like the lumber out in the weather. I got it on a slope and I try to keep some bad stuff sitting on top of it, but I really don't want this ash to change color until we decide on what's going to be done. I got it on Marketplace for sale right now. Both these two top pieces for mantle or floating shelves or bar top or whatever. But I also got this cherry here that I want to try to sell because I have nothing that I can personally use it for right now, and I hate seeing stuff sit and not have a use for it. I mean, if I had a purpose for it, I'd totally keep it, but I don't. I got a stack of walnut there that I'll probably use for trim in the house, but I want to stack all that stuff somewhere. So what I'm thinking is, I got a couple ideas, guys. One, and I don't know how good of an idea this is, but it could be handy. I thought about putting a loft space here. You see where that 2x6 is? Coming straight across to this one, which is, I'm standing on, let me show you guys. I'm standing on this wooden section here. That's all regular dirt. This is level with the lowest point over there, or the highest point I should say. So if I do it, I can split it, and in the middle here I can have 7 feet on the floor clearance up to the floor joists, and I can have roughly 7 feet overhead, which for me being 6'6", that's plenty of room to get up there and walk the majority of the room around. I'll have to crouch down over in the corners, but I thought about fixing it up there, putting a little heavy to where I could slide stuff like that up there. But problem with that is, like, that cherry is 13 feet long and it's heavy. So it's probably not the best idea to have it there. But it's still, I don't know if having a loft space up there, maybe like a storage for tools, storage for parts, maybe hayloft. I kind of hate to put a hayloft in here, but it could be an overflow storage of something. I could start cleaning the container out of some of the stuff out of there. That being said, I also thought about, let me see, okay, I thought about turning, if a business ever becomes of this, doing fireplace mantles, bar tops, like unique pieces, like just specialty items, which is what I would rather do, really. I mean, I want to keep the lumber stuff for the farm use, because I can't compete with a big mill, but I can compete in the sense of specialty items, something unique, something totally, you know, totally just for you. I've had, what few customers I've had, I tend to lean more towards guys that have sentimental attachment to a particular type of tree that they want sawed into, you know, boards to make something out of. Like, they have plans for it. It's not just, well, I'm gonna build a barn. So that being said, I've done a few things like that, but I tend to stay away from it because I just, like I say, I can't compete. I can't make any money that way. Can't hardly afford to run the Detroit. I thought about taking the container, insulating it, just putting racks in it, like 2-foot wide racks, and using it for shelving. It'll stay dark. I could set it in the shade, put some vents in it. Like I say, it'll stay dark. It'll allow ventilation through it, so it won't stay too hot in there with the insulation factor. And you could use it kind of like a showroom. You could go in, have little lights, and they could actually see, and then you could trolley out what you wanted. for that type of stuff. I thought about that, but for right now, I'm really considering taking and I got the old flatbed. Come out here in the sun. It's supposed to storm. Sun shining, but there's dark clouds back that way, so I got the old flatbed off of the 2-ton that was originally on it. It's piled full of white pine right now. Just throw it on there to get room for that ash. But I thought about taking it off, weed eating around it, and what I can do is it's got stake pockets for sideboards. I could put stake pockets, put a couple 2x4s in there, and build like a little lean-to roof off of it. I mean, it'll hold 16-foot long stuff. I can get my forks under it, in there to it. It'll still be outside, but it'll be covered better. I got some 16-foot tin. I could easily build a little lean-to roof off of it just for a temporary fix. I wouldn't want to leave it there though. So yeah, tell me what you guys think on that stuff. I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of filming. Probably this evening it'll be mostly just talking. I hope to get back on the mill here in a day or two. Tomorrow, if it doesn't come a crazy storm, I'm gonna get over here and shake because it's hot in that sun. If it doesn't storm, I'm gonna work on getting the hay fields mowed. Try to keep them cleaned off. We're not doing any more hay. We got enough hay for this year for what we can put up. I'm trying to keep the Johnson grass out of it. For those of you that don't know, it's basically an invasive weed. And if I can keep it killed out, I'm hoping to not have it as bad next year. So I'm gonna try to keep the mowing done. I'm gonna work on it tomorrow. My brother's supposed to want some dirt, so I may try to put the bucket on tomorrow and get him some dirt. I'll try to get y'all some filming of that and just basic work. So yeah, I ain't got a whole lot going on that stuff. I'm trying to cut the talking short, get to the point. So yeah, oh, another thing I want to do, we want to extend, as you can see, I left that end open. You're probably like, why in the world did you do that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish that out when I build the lean-to section over the rest of this mill. As you can see, like the weeds have grown up on this end of the mill. I want to get this whole area covered. I have a 21-foot poplar beam that I cut specifically for putting as a header there. But I'm debating on putting it in. And the reason I'm debating on putting it in, turned out really well. I ain't got no problem with that. It's just I've recently sawed 24 plus feet. So I'm back and forth on how big of a header I really need. I have another 24 foot, and I don't know if you guys can see it. You see that truss piece there? I have one of those, and I'm thinking I got one that's 24 feet. Now, they don't look good, considering, you know, it's a sawmill shed. You'd think you would want wood, and you can be seen from the road, so I want it to look good. But at the same time, it'll be there, and it'll be strong, and it'll actually do the job. And that's possibly more important than looks for what it is going to be doing. Like, I want it to work. I want it to be convenient for loading long stuff. So I need to wrap my head around it. I guess I'll need to measure those and make sure I do got one 24 foot before I decide. And if I can't, I can always cut a 24 foot beam. I don't really want to, but I can. Because 24 feet is really pushing it on the mill. I just want to be able to do it though. In case I ever want to build a 24 by 24 log cabin someday. But I'm also going to shorten these runners. I put the metal on it, the metal pipe. They're strong, they're plenty strong. I ain't got no problem with that. But I'm honestly debating on taking them out completely and shortening them. And what I'm thinking is, if I don't take them out completely, I'm thinking about coming right about here and shortening them from there to there, because that's, I'm thinking about 14, 15 feet. I'd have to measure. And then I got the I-beam rails over to the mill. I want to put those on hydraulics to where when I hit it, they'll raise up and I can walk in between there. But what I want to do is, I'm thinking about taking these out and putting a couple power poles sawed with like a flat edge on it, just a squared off edge on top and bottom. The reason for that is, like when I was doing that ash, I really needed to move just one side, and the best way to do that is to stick the crank hook up and under and kind of use it as leverage and just kind of push it that way. And for the most part, the rounded part works great for that. I mean, it's good for that. But where it's metal, it won't let the crank hook dig in enough. It wants to slip and slide off of it. So they're almost too slippery. I have had stuff actually get the rolling too good on it, and because of the way they're shaped, it wants to roll off, and it's hard to put a wedge in under it. So with a flatter surface area and wood, you could actually dig in, and I think a power pole will hold up. Well, I mean, that's what the whole building's made out of. So I'm pretty certain that's what I'm going to do. But if nothing else, I'm at least going to shorten those, because it's really hard to come in here and make this turn and line up, and I can't really get close enough with those shorter logs that I want to get closer. There's too much rolling for those odd shapes. You get off really quick and easy. So if I can do that, then I can actually come in here closer to the mill for those oddball logs and set it closer where there's less rolling involved. So that's probably what I'm going to do. I can hear the rain, and I don't know if you guys noticed it or not, but it got dark, like a lot darker out here. So I'm going to ease my way back over to the sawmill shed or saw barn or saw house or whatever, and get close to where I can get in out of the rain. I'm also going to put a fuel tank. I'm debating on putting a lean-to here and putting the fuel tank in under it, or just going inside. Sorry for all the junk. And when I put a wall, because I do want a wall here over to that one, putting it right here, basically where his trash can's at. So I thought about that, and that way you can just kind of come around the door, the man that fuels it up, and he can put fuel in it. It's I already got it. It's like a 250-gallon tank. So everything here runs off diesel, including my lawnmower. So I would want, if I done it, I want it big enough to where I can run my sawmills, my tractors, pretty much everything off of that. I can just come over here and drop a line and fuel it up and have them deliver my fuel, because I can actually have fuel, because I'm really close, I can have fuel delivered the amount cheaper than I can actually go buy it in 5-gallon buckets and bring it in here. So I really need to do that. Another long-term future goal, I'm going to do something kind of like freaking Jeep Scott for those guys that know him. I want to extend my mandrel, basically. So what I'm thinking is, I'm gonna set the camera in a place that you guys can see. I'm just trying to give y'all guys a rundown of what hopefully will come in the future. See, get some feedback. So my mandrel is right here, and there's a lot of sideways force pulling against it right there on that big old belt. It's a V-belt, but it's what they call a power pack V-belt. So it's V-belts, but it's all layered solid, so it's matched. But what I would like to do is put me a coupling, basically, kind of like a PTO drive coupling, and put a drive shaft out so far, probably to the end of that walkway. Pour a concrete pad out there where the lawnmower's at. Actually move the Detroit back and set it about like right where the lawnmower is at currently. Run V-belt pulley, run my pulleys and everything back there with a drive shaft that connects and U-joints. And that way, if I need to shift that, I can at any given time. If I need to shift my lead in, lead out on my mill, I can adjust that, and I won't have to worry about loosening or tightening these belts and trying to set it, and then it may be, pulling a lot of tension on those case bearings that's for the mandrel head. So that's my theory on it. If any of y'all have seen something similar to what my idea is, I've seen similar stuff. Some guys have got really long mandrels and got, like 3-piece bearings, and I don't really want to buy a whole nother mandrel. This one's good. So I just don't know how to adapt it correctly yet. I'm thinking something along the lines of PTO style drive shafts, and then just get like a short double-sided shaft to put this big pulley on, one side coupled to the other side of that drive shaft with a slip yoke. But I don't know. But the reason I want to do that is I actually want to build a platform that will bring me from this area, so I can walk around and then like walk up a couple steps and go across. I'm going to get rid of this whole drag chain, and I want to put a blower system on. I'd really like a blower system because that's going to get rid of a lot of possible problems. The drag chains are notorious for giving issues whenever they pop loose, and they're old and they break, and I've seen it happen a bunch. But if I had a blower, I could put it anywhere. So if I put a blower on it, I can actually build a little room to put my sawdust and stuff in, like a little walled off area, and I can get rid of all that chain drag and everything like that. I'm thinking about, and I think I've seen it before done, thinking about a leaf vac. Just a leaf vac running off of maybe an electric motor that I can run through my power unit just off of an inverter, or through the main solar panels, but basically have a leaf vac. Instead of it sucking up leaves, build a little box underneath my blade to where it sucks out the sawdust and blows it out of the building. Those are some theories, those are some plans, those are some future goals, guys. Tell me what you think, give me your advice. Any ideas, I'll consider them. I may use them, I may not. But give me input. I'm sorry I didn't get any sawing really done this week. I've put up a couple shorts from past videos to try to grow some interest there. In some of those old videos, it didn't really catch on much. Like I say, I haven't got back to mill. I haven't got a place to stack this stuff that I really want to, because I hate to see it out in the weather. I need like a whole 30-acre shed here instead of, open fields. I just need one big shed. But anyway, hopefully I'll get back on the mill. This weekend is probably going to be, like I say, mowing the pastures and working on the house. I may be moving some dirt, but I'll try to get some clips of that, show you guys what I'm working on. If we start cutting out windows, I'm definitely going to try to get some video of that, okay? Sorry so long-winded. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. See you guys on the next one.